I'm Chef Tal. It's been a long work day, but I'm off. And like I always do, sometimes I want to come home and I want to cook something good. But since I do have to work again tomorrow, I'm going to prepare my pasta. This is something that you're going to see new on my Facebook page, Chef Tal, and my Pinterest page. You know, that's Chef Tal Sim. So make sure you tell all your friends, follow me on Pinterest and Facebook. But since it's spring and the weather's starting to warm up, I love making pasta. And one thing I wanted to share with you all is when I was, during my lots of years that I spent in the Navy, I traveled to Europe a lot. And one thing that I always did when I went somewhere is that I wanted to get out and meet locals, and, absorb their knowledge of food and, get their recommendations of where to eat, because I'm not going overseas to eat McDonald's. You can believe that. So one day, the ship that I was stationed aboard, we pulled into Livorno, Italy. And I was out walking around with my camera and my little tour guide book that basically means nothing because it doesn't tell you anything anyway. I saw an old man who I later found out his name was Dino. And in his front yard, there was a nice big fig tree, and he was picking figs from there. So I walked up to him and asked him if he needed any help and if I could taste a few of his figs off his tree. Of course, he said yes. His English was pretty good because I guess he had some exposure to the Allied soldiers after World War II as a young boy. So after picking figs and talking to Dino for a while, he asked me if I was hungry. And I'm not turning down a meal from a local, so I said, of course I am. So he said, come into the house. I went into the house with him, and he prepared fresh pasta. And that's what I want to share with you today. So this is not going to take long, and I always like to prepare my, things the day before. That way they have time to rest, and I have time to think of what I want to do with them, because I am a fusion chef, and I am not making a classic Italian dish with this pasta. I'm going to make something pretty much that comes from New Orleans. But let's start with the pasta first. So as you can see, all-purpose flour, but the way I have it, I have a hole in the middle of this. Sort of looks like a volcano. You can achieve this by using a spoon. So you're going to get your hands dirty. We are working with flour. It's not going to take long, so suck it up. You'll have wine afterwards, which I have a sip right now. I love Merlot. Okay, we're going to crack 2 eggs. Always crack your eggs, horizontal surface, such so. We're going to put those right in the middle. Okay. Now, using our hands, we're going to work the flour and we're going to work it out. And like I said, you're going to get a little dirty with this. But we're going to keep this inside, and we're going to mix this with our hands. Try to keep it inside as much as possible. As you can see, I'm spilling it out. We're going to incorporate more and more flour into this egg mixture. And what we're trying to get here is a consistency. Now, we don't want this pasta dough to be too wet, and we don't want it to be too dry, because I do not have a pasta maker here. So this will all be done by hand. Don't be afraid of flour. I see lots of people come up to me and they say, Tal, how can I just don't feel like working with this flour. So I got another egg here. We're going to crack that. We're going to incorporate that. This is an egg pasta that we're going to make here. If you can see the other dishes that I have here, I have some cracked black pepper, which we're going to put in now. I have some sea salt. It is messy, I told you that. And I have some olive oil. Now, one thing about this olive oil, I have it infused with tomato, because I want that flavor of the tomato, of the sun-dried tomato in here. And what this is going to do is this is going to give our pasta a shiny appeal to it. Okay? Things are starting to come together here. We're going to end up working this with our hands. And if it's a little too wet, like I feel this is, always feel free to add a little bit more flour to it. And that's why I have my open bag here. And you'll know the consistency because it's gonna start to separate itself from everything else. It's gonna come off your hands, and it's gonna stay that way. Okay, we got a wet dough here. Okay. I'm going to knead this up a little bit more. We're going to pause right now. We're going to come right back when I'm ready to show you how to get this ready for your refrigerator. Okay, after a little bit of kneading and just a little bit more flour, you can see the consistency that we're looking for. It is separated from my hand, and now it has the consistency of a really soft Play-Doh. I don't like to keep my camera rolling at all times because I don't want to bore you. I don't want you losing interest while you see Chef Tal here kneading his dough with his hand, because this is, like I said, this is old world style, and this is the way it was done when there was nothing, no modern day appliances like we have now. You can do this in a food processor. I would say have fun with this. You know, do it yourself. Okay, now what I have here is I have this beautiful pasta. I'm going to form this, and I'm never going to work with anything the day that I make it. I want this to sit in my refrigerator while I'm at work tomorrow. So when I get home, I'm going to turn this into a beautiful dish. I have some hot and sweet Italian sausage, fresh basil, a little olive oil, sun-dried tomatoes, heavy cream. We're going to mount that all bare, mount with butter. And we are going to make that into a delicious dish that I think that everybody in my house will enjoy. That's just me and my significant other. If anybody wants to come over for dinner, they're more than welcome. Going to cover this up, and we're going to put this in our refrigerator. And tomorrow I will have another video, and you will have a delicious pasta dish you can share with your friends. Like I said, it's easy, less than 15 minutes to make this. You know, you'll spend more time enjoying this beautiful glass of Merlot. And we'll see you again tomorrow. And don't forget, tell all your friends, Facebook Chef Tal and Pinterest Chef Tal Sims. Till tomorrow, bon appetit.